YouTube, Miss Tone, back with another one for you. Now, this one is called Affidavit of Tax Exempt Foreign Status. Now, just so you understand what the point of you calling yourself foreign is, because you're going to be sending these to a corporation, which is whatever government agency that you can think of. Essentially, what you're dealing with is for-profit corporations with shareholders. There's a lot to it, but essentially what it is that you're foreign to them because they are foreign to you. It ain't that you're a foreigner like an alien or whatever. It's that they are. So you're making yourself clear with this affidavit as to where it is that you stand and what the reasons are for that. We're gonna get into below, and this is all based on their own codes and statutes. We don't even got to try to mix them up or look for no loopholes or nothing like that. It's just a matter of understanding the language and the definitions behind it. And because these people think that it's funny to give us a different dictionary when we go to school, and then they show us these codes and statutes, and they have us believing that the definitions associated with these codes and statutes are from the same dictionary that we went to school with. But that's not the case. They use a whole different dictionary. The words mean something totally different than what you think they do. And this is where we are fucking up. It's not them, it's us fucking up. So we're going to fix that shit with this. So, affidavit of tax exempt foreign status. So, for the purpose of this affidavit, the terms United States, quote unquote, and U.S. mean only the federal legislative democracy of the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, Guam, American Samoa, and any other territory within the United States. Now, just to be clear, too, just because they talk about Puerto Rico here doesn't mean that they have jurisdiction on the land in Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico is actually the corporate name of the company that they have set up over there. But the actual island that they call Puerto Rico is actually called Borinquen. All right, so that's a whole different thing. So yeah, do they have jurisdiction in Puerto Rico? Yeah, the same way they have jurisdiction in the United States. But they're not talking about the land. They're talking about the little piece of wherever they have their business set up, and that's what they call it, Puerto Rico. But that's not the whole. That's not the name of the landmass. All right, and so they do this shit on purpose to trick everybody. So the United States, which entity has its origin and jurisdiction from Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 to 18, and Article 4, Section 3, Clause 2 of the Constitution of the United States of America. The terms United States and U.S. are not to be construed to mean or to include United 50 States of America or even the landmass of America, because that's not what we're talking about here. When we say the United States, we're talking about the 10-mile square that they have in Washington where they have their businesses set up, which I believe have gotten fucking ransacked for the last maybe 3 or 4 years. They've been getting fucked up over there. But you're not going to see that on TV. You know what I mean? I mean, you did see it briefly when you saw, like, pictures of all the soldiers laying down over there and all that. That was basically them, capturing the flag. And could that have been a psyop? Absolutely. Who knows? Because I haven't went down there to check, but I wouldn't imagine that that's the case, because from multiple sources you would hear that everything's getting fucked up over there. The town's pretty much empty. It was looking like shit, and then they had it all fenced off and all that shit. So more than likely, it was actually true. So, number one, neither born nor naturalized in the United States nor subject to its jurisdiction. I am not and never have been described as 26 CFR 1.1 1C and the 14th Amendment of United States citizen. Therefore, I am an alien with respect to the United States. And it's strange, when we start looking at the wordplay in these documents, because we're still getting used to the fact that we all got lied to. So when you start to read some of these things, it's going to be a little bit hard to swallow, because you're like, why would I even have to do this? But it's the fact that they fucking inverted everything. So now when we say these things that are written out on this document, it feels odd. But that's because we got fucking brainwashed. So you got to kind of work through that too. And it does take a while, you know what I'm saying, for you to really be able to wrap your mind around the concept, because it happened to everybody in fucking America. It wasn't one or some of us, it was all of us. So, and not only do you have to learn how to, think differently and understand these terms from different aspects, then you got to deal with everybody in daily life who's still fucking stuck in the matrix and refuses to change. So, when you start bringing up topics like this, they just automatically go into fear mode and shit and try to talk you out of it. You know what I mean? So just keep it to yourself until you get where you're going with this whole thing, and then just let them see. Lead by example. So I am not and never have been, as described in 26 USC 865H, quote unquote, resident of the US. So, and even the term resident is a commercial term, right? And they get us comfortable with that, with using the word resident when we're not a resident. So I have never made with any knowingly intelligent acts any voluntary election under 26 USC 6013 or 26 CFR to be treated as a U.S. resident alien for any purpose. Further, I have utterly no intention of making such election in the future. Number four, I am, as described in 26 USC, a non-resident alien of the United States. And when it says non-resident, I know we're used to the term resident meaning where you live, but that's not it. It means doing business. So when you say you're a non-resident alien, that means that you're not doing business and you're alien to the United States 10 by 10 in Washington, um, D.C. And I am not and never have been, as described in 26 USC 7701, a quote unquote US person. Number six, I am not and have never been, as described in 26 USC 7701, A14, a quote unquote taxpayer. Seven, and why would we be paying taxes anyway when we're the government here? You know what I'm saying? That shit's crazy. It's number seven. I do not and never had, as described in 26 USC 911, a tax home within the United States. All right. So that would mean you living in Washington, D.C., literally within that 10 by 10 radius. So I am therefore, as described in 26 CFR 1 1.871 2 and 26 USC 7701B, a non-resident alien with respect to the United States, and I am outside the general venue and jurisdiction of the U.S. Now, keep in mind that there are some things that can bind you into their jurisdiction when it comes to doing business and transactions and things like that. But that's something that you want to look into further. But just to make sure that this document is true and you're not going outside of the bounds after you send it in, looking like a hypocrite. So number nine, I am not and never have been, as described in 26 USC 3401, an officer or an employee or an elected official of the United States or of a state or of any political subdivision thereof, nor of the District of Columbia, nor a domestic corporation, earnings, wages, and from an employer. Okay. And we can never earn wages from an employer because we are the employer. And every time you've ever went to a company, probably just like I used to, I give them my social security card and I sign a W-4. When you do that, you're the employer and they're the employee. And that's how that shit works. Because if it was the other way around, they wouldn't need your social security card. They would just give you a job and fucking pay you. But since they're asking you for your social security, you can bet your ass that what they're doing is creating bonds behind the scenes that are actually going to pay your wages and they're going to keep them. So they're really getting you to work for them for free. How you like that one? But mind you, once you figure this all out and correct a couple things, you can go back and collect all those bonds that they've been robbing you of. From when you went to school, got your library card, every credit card, your fucking licenses, your IDs, your fucking insurance company, any hospitals you went to, all of those places that ever asked you for your social are more than likely tied into the same company that owns pretty much every corporation that's in the United States. So they did that for a fucking reason, and it wasn't anything to actually help you out. So I am not and never have been. Where are we? I am not and never have been, as described in 31 USC 3713, a fiduciary, or as described in 26 USC 6901, a transferee or transferee of a transferee. And you know that you're not a fiduciary because you're the beneficiary. So even though you can wear different hats at different points if you want uh to make somebody else the fiduciary and to keep, and to be honest, that's exactly what these court systems do when they hit you with charges and shit like that and present you with a charge with your name on it. That means that they used your credit to create that charge, and all these charges are commercial charges, so they can't even hit you with a commercial charge. And if they do, it's identity fraud for fucking one. and then you pretty much own the charge anyway. But they're trying to get you to default or go into dishonor in some way, shape, or form to be able to flip the script on you because they have you into a performance bond without you even realizing it, probably from some other contract that you entered into with them. But they're not going to tell you that if you don't already know. They're just going to fucking assume that you know and move forward as such, you know? And it's I mean, you really can't get mad at them because they're making a fucking killing off this shit. So I mean, I get it, but still, once you're called out, cut the fucking shit. You know what I mean? I'm fucking come on. It's one thing to be a liar, but it's a fucking different thing to take it to the grave and fucking actually start acting like an asshole about it. Like we're the fucking ones that are wrong. Cut that shit out. So I'm not and never have been, as described in 26 USC, subtitle B, a donor or a contributor, and as a non resident alien, excluded 26 USC 2501 A2. I am exempt from any gift tax under 26 USC, subtitle B. And that's exactly what all that shit is. All those charges, criminal charges, all those are really gift taxes. And that's what they're taking the money off you as a gift. And so that's what they're making it look like. And then they're gonna get you to pay the taxes on it. When in all reality, if you really gave them a gift, then that's a taxable event and they need to pay taxes on that. How you like that one? So 12, as a non-resident alien, not engaged in or effectively connected with any trade or business within the United States, I am not required by law to obtain a U.S. taxpayer identification number or a social security number because of my exemption under 26 CFR 301-6109-1G. Further, I am not required by law to make, as described in 26 CFR, a declaration because I am exempt under 26 CFR. And so these are one of the things too, where they trick us into this shit too, when they have us sending them like fucking declaration of statuses and shit like that. In all reality, it doesn't fucking matter what they think. But when we start entertaining things like that, that's when you're kind of giving credence and acting as if what they say even really means anything anyway. And the only reason why we should be doing these things is not to try to get them to accept or tell us that the shit's cool or you know what I'm saying? Things like that. It's for us to be able to build a record so when we go to hold any of these individuals liable, they cannot act like they have not already been put on notice. And that's all that it is. It's us putting them on notice. So as a non-resident alien, I have no self-employment income, uh, as described in 26 CFR 14, as a non resident alien, I derive no gross income from sources within the United States, either effectively connected or not effectively connected with the conduct of a trade or business in the United States, as described in 26 USC 872A. 15. As a non resident alien, my private sector remuneration is from sources without the United States, as described in 26 CFR, does not constitute 26 USC 3401 wages, and is therefore not subject to mandatory withholding 26 USC 3402A, 3101A, or 26 CFR 1.1441-1 because of its exemption under 26 USC 3401 6 and fundamental law. As a non resident alien, I did never intentionally make, with any knowingly intelligent acts, any voluntary withholding agreement as described in 26 USC 3402P, which, mind you, a lot of us get locked into that without realizing it when we fill out a W 4 and all that shit. All right. And those are basically promissory notes and shit like that when you fill out the W-4s. And then the company will take it after you signed it, and God knows what they do with it, but they're going to monetize that shit regardless. As a non resident alien, my income is not included in gross income under Subtitle A and is exempt from withholding according to 26 CFR 1 441 3A and 26 CFR 3401A 6 1B. 18. As a non resident alien with no income from sources within the United States, my private sector non US income is free from all federal tax under fundamental law. See Treasury decisions 3146 and 3640 and United States versus Morris 125 F Rept 322 331. And so yeah, so if at any point also you were filling out a 1040 according to 18, non-resident alien with no income, then that's what you would put as income. It would be zero. So 19, as a non-resident alien, my estate and or trust, as described in 26 USC 7701A 31, a tax exempt foreign estate or trust. As a natural born citizen of the Constitution, a free, sovereign American citizen and non resident alien with respect to the federal United States, I did never voluntarily, intentionally waive with any knowingly intelligent acts. And I mean, to be real, why would any of us give up our sovereignty just to contract with some people that we don't even fucking know? If it meant forfeiting our sovereign, natural, God given rights, you're gonna tell me that for some reason we will go ahead and sign up for fucking food stamps instead of you guys showing us how to monetize our own fucking instruments, our birth certificate and things like that that we could have monetized on our own and been rich as fuck without these people? Yeah, so yeah. All right, come on now. Just use your head. And when you start to see how this game really works, you know that they did all the shit that they did on purpose. And it's for a good reason too, because they're super fucking rich because of these scams. But just in general, that shit's grimy as fuck. I did never voluntarily, intentionally waive any knowingly intelligent acts, any of my unalienable rights, and have utterly no intention of doing so in the future. Any prima facie evidence or presumption to the contrary is hereby rebutted. Any past signatures on IRS and SSA form statements, etc., were in error and involuntarily made under threat, duress, and coercion. I hereby revoke, cancel, and render void nunc pro tunc, that means from the beginning of time, both currently and retroactively, of the time signing any and all signatures. I reserve my common law right not to be compelled to perform under any agreement that I have not entered into knowingly, voluntarily, and intentionally. All right, so let me get this time down. Uh, and number 21, I am not a 26 USC 7203 quote unquote person required. I am a non taxpayer outside both general and tangential ve- uh, venue and jurisdiction of Title 26 United States Code. And you guys got to look it up too. What is USC 26 person? That shit is crazy. It's talking about individuals, corporations, partnerships. Those are all considered 14th Amendment citizens, but they're not even real fucking things. So, they're acting like we're going to give up our rights as living beings to take on the privilege and benefits of a fake corporation rather than just keeping our fucking rights as they were intact. The fuck out of here. So, pursuant to 28 USC 1746 1 and executed without the United States, I affirm under penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States of America that the foregoing is true and correct to the best of my belief and informed knowledge. Subscribe, sealed, and affirmed to this. And this is all this here is the bottom of the affidavit. If you do get this and you end up sending this in with any of your presentments and things like that, then you're probably gonna want to fix the format that the bottom part's in. You're gonna have to move that shit over and all that and fix the dates and stuff like that. But so that pretty much wraps up this affidavit. You already know. If you guys need this, email me. It's free. It's on the house. And it is a game of chess. Stop playing checkers with these clowns. That's what I got for you for now. Until we meet again.